I'm here in Key Largo, Florida at the Coral Restoration Foundation. Fluval is proud to be making a donation to help support the amazing work that the Coral Restoration Foundation is doing to help regenerate and restore the coral reefs here in South Florida. Let's go inside to meet with Ken and Kevin to hear the story. Hey Ken, how's it going?
Hey Francis, how's it going?
I'm good, Kevin.
Hey Francis.
Well,
Welcome.
Thanks. It's my first time at the CRF Ed Center. Ken, can you just tell me, what CRF is and what we're going to be doing today on our dive?
Yeah, well, the Coral Restoration Foundation is dedicated to developing and coral nurseries and coral restoration techniques, and then training other people how to do it. And so we've developed and refined those techniques here in the Florida Keys. Now we're taking them elsewhere. And what you're going to do today is we're going to give you a quick lesson on how to work in the nursery and how to frag and propagate corals in an offshore nursery, and then how to put them on the reef as part of our restoration program.
And can you tell me kind of what inspired you to start up CRF?
Well, the inspiration came as a tropical fish collector. I was watching the coral reefs pretty much die in front of me. The corals were getting diseases, they were getting stressed by a lot of different things, and it's kind of a long story. So I saw them dying. I realized my industry doesn't have a lot of hope if we can't keep the corals alive, because the fish like to live in and around a coral environment. And so I started thinking, isn't there something we can do to fix it? And I watched what the people in the aquarium industry were doing. They were fragging corals in aquariums and doing all this kind of stuff. And I thought, surely if they can do it in an aquarium, I can do it in the ocean.
So when we're out at the nursery today, what are we going to be doing exactly?
So we're going to be fragging corals. So it might be getting a bigger coral. Maybe if there's a coral this big on the tree, we might cut branches off and then rehang it with monofilament like that and put it back on the branch. But mostly what we're doing is trying to select some corals to take out to the reef. So we're going to be looking for corals about this size that are growing on the tree. And we're going to take them off. We're going to bundle them up. We're going to put monofilament on them if they don't have it. And we're going to put tags on them. And then we're going to bundle them together with a piece of wire. And so we'll put 5 to 10. If they're big corals, we'll put 5. If they're small ones, 10. Bundle them together, take them up, put them in the boat, take them out to the reef. We break the bundles apart and then start planting them on the reef.
Ken, it's great how you've kind of come full circle from being an aquarium collector and now giving back to the coral reefs and the environment. And that's why Fluval's here as well. We're an aquarium company and we want to be able to support the industry for the long term. And doing conservation of our coral reefs in South Florida is really, really important. And we're just glad to be a small part of what you're doing.
Well, we're glad to have you on board, and this is certainly an aquarium industry-driven process. I think the ideas and the inspiration has come from aquarists and tropical fish collectors, and I think we're leading the industry. This is where conservation is coming from, in this industry, in my opinion. It's not. There's other people doing it too, but this industry. These people that have reef tanks are real excited about the coral reefs and what's going on.
Ken and Kevin, I'm happy to present this check to the Coral Restoration Foundation.
Awesome.
To help continue your work of restoring the coral reefs of South Florida. It's so important. And hopefully what Fluval's doing inspires other aquarium companies, hobbyists, and just the general public to donate to this great, great and important cause.
Well, we appreciate your support and your standing behind us on this endeavor, and I think it's going to be a great start and going to help us put a lot of corals on the reef.
I want to thank Fluval. This aquarium industry takes a lot of abuse for what we do, and I think it shows that aquarium industry companies care, and this sponsorship goes a long way to help continuing our efforts. Thank you.
Oh, it's our pleasure, and now let's get our hands wet and jump in the water, right?
Let's go do it.
Right.
So the nursery is 3 miles out. It's right on the edge of state and federal waters. We're going to go there first, do our dives there, collect the corals, get them all ready.
And what depth are we going to be diving at?
The nursery's in 30 feet, so right to the sand is 30, and the trees are 15 or so. So we'll pick up the corals, put them in the boat, and then go out to Pickles Reef, which is about another half a mile from the nursery. So each tag has been stamped and imprinted with a number or a letter. In this case, it's 43, and that was it's like the 43rd genetic strain that we collected. So genotype 43 is actually in there on the way in.
And why is it important to have keep track of that?
Well, it's important because we're trying to figure out what these corals have inside them, and are they fast growers? Are they disease resistant? Are they heat resistant? And so by tracking them at the nursery, we can look at them in the nursery and see what's going on there. We can go back to the place where we collected them and see what's going on. And then when we put them on the reef and we come across a great big patch that's doing really great, we can look at it, oh, it's number 43 or it's number 5 or 10.
So it's just to keep track of which do best and which don't do
Right,
so
and
well.
then also when we transplant them, part of the goal of this whole thing is to get these corals spawning again. We're not trying to replant every reef in the Keys. We're trying to reestablish these spawning thickets of coral so that they'll do the work for us. And if we don't keep track of where we put them, we could put all of one genetic strain on one reef, and that would not work.
Had an awesome dive here at Pickles Reef with Ken and Kevin from Coral Restoration Foundation. We transplanted about 40 acropora pieces, and you can really see some of the older corals that they transplanted a few months ago. They've already started to grow in. I can't wait to come back here in a few months' time and see how these corals have grown in. But you know, you can see all the fish life down there. They love swimming around the corals, and like Ken was saying, just you know, a year ago there were no acroporas at this reef, and now there's you know, dozens and if not hundreds of them down here. But thank you both for a great dive. Really enlightening to see the work that you do firsthand, and glad to be a part of it.
Yeah, good. Glad to have you along. Glad to have your support.
Definitely.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. Come back.
Yeah.
The fish are glad too.